So, you guys ready for the 30s?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, you should actually put on your sad hats because you're going to see fewer body parts. Sorry. The 30s was a somber time. My parents were smiling there. So fashion in the 30s was directly influenced by the Wall Street crash of 1929 and the Depression afterwards. Yeah, it was a more somber time. This is definitely reflected in the clothing. There's a famous Sears catalog, as a matter of fact, that says, "Thrift is the spirit of the day. Reckless spending is a thing of the past." And this is a theme that certainly holds true throughout the year. Oh, it's great fun. Wow, that was a quick change. Nice. So clothing styles were less extravagant in the 1930s than the 20s, reflecting the mood of the Great Depression. It's a really cute dress, but I really can feel the vibe of conservation and thrift in it. Yeah, you agree? So a softer, more feminine look here. To replace that kind of boyish, slapper over the top look of the 20s. So Becky here has on a lovely, lovely, lovely 1930s day dress. Maybe what might have been your everyday dress. It's not extravagant like the 20s. It's very feminine in this look. So at this time, this is when they started doing bias cutting. It allows the fabric to kind of drape around the body in a way that accentuates the hips and the waist. Definitely a more feminine look. And hats were all the rage in the 30s and 40s. We're going to see a lot of this coming up. She has the full ensemble. Adrienne has on an amazing, this is an amazing dress. Amazing dress. So notice the dropped hem versus the 20s, yeah? Hemlines hit the floor. And notice the, this is when like Art Deco stylized cuts of fabric fitted into these diagonals. They did this a lot in the 30s. A very somber dress. Oh, one other thing to note is in the 30s, they really started paying attention to shoulders on dresses here. So there's these cool little details like that. Yeah, okay. Oh my goodness. Okay. Wow. This is awesome. Susanna is wearing a classic, probably late 30s dress. It's gorgeous. So notice the hemline, yeah? All the way down, all the way to the floor. It's a major difference from the 20s. The themes are kind of elongation, long, slim lines. The waist is featured. The bodice, the bust line is featured again. There's gathering around the bodice. And attention to the shoulder. Eva. So notice the 30s hallmarks. The skirts are long and straight. Tall and slim look is popular. Very different from the token look of the 20s. No beading or reckless spending here. It is feminine. So let me define a bias cut for you because I use this a lot in the 30s. That's where you the fabric pieces are cut on a diagonal to the weave of the fabric, and it allows the fabric to drape really femininely around the body. And notice the little ruffles and feminine details coming out. And she has amazing shoes on. Oh, Sarah, my goodness. This is another awesome 30s dress with all lovely 30s hallmarks, you know? The long skirt that flows down on the bottom, great sleeves. And in the 30s, they started paying attention to the back of a dress even. So there's, I don't know if you can see it, but there's little vents in the back of the dress there. Gosh, Sarah works this dress, it's great. And shoes, she has great little metallic sandals on. So these particular outfits, so these dresses here are kind of what you might associate with times of the past. Tea time, luncheon with high society. And then, just want to point out that great bias. Nice. Okay, lovely. What do we have next? Mary, come on. So Mary, on to different themes here. Mary is wearing this really cool example of your everyday kind of around the town dress, but with lovely 30s hallmarks. It has a nice wide cut collar. It's got this detailed top stitching. Can you guys see that? And in the 30s, they really started to use button details and such. It's got these novelty buttons on there over the top that are really lovely. And great shoes, deco shoes. So this is Kelly. So Kelly has on, this is a modern reproduction of a 30s dress, certainly, but it's got some awesome 1930s details that I want to point out to you. Notice the attention given to the neckline. It's got unusual cuts of fabric fitted into diagonals, kind of like what we talked about on Adrian's dress. And this is the time of the introduction of two-tone into clothing, or contrasting fabric insertions. Yeah? This really began in the 30s. They hit home with it in the 40s, though, too. Lovely. So, are you guys ready for 30s evening wear? Here it comes. Marcy has an iconic 1930s wear style. Hemlines to the floor. The bias cut allows the draping around the body. It's very Grecian look. This look has never gone out of style. And in the 30s, yeah, they started paying attention to the back. This is the time of the exposed back. I have one on myself. Beautiful. This is Lucy in a 1930s slip. So it's got all the 30s hallmarks. There's drapes and gathers of fabric at the bust. It's very feminine. And a deco style overlay there with little rhinestones. It's very cool. Oh my goodness. Robin is wearing a very ultra cool, ultra hard to find, let me tell you, 1930s red velvet evening gown. If you find one of these at a vintage shop, snatch it up. I'm serious. It's got the great puff sleeves, 1930s puff sleeves, and it's got a little bit of the back peep there. It's very tall and slimming. And she's got those great shoes on. So Andy has on another popular look in the 30s, satin gown. You'll see the back, you'll love it. So a popular look in the 30s was that low cut, exposed back, and the details of the little bias cut piece of fabric around the back, those are awesome. This is a look really embraced by Ginger Rogers. And she has some fabulous 30s shoes on. We'll talk about shoes in a minute. So, okay, so the shapes of 30s dresses are conservative, but they certainly don't hide any femininity, no? So what are the 30s hallmarks, everybody, in clothing? You guys can come sit. Oh, there's shoulders. Shoulders, yes. There's the bias cut allowing the draping around the body, yeah. Snug at the waist.
Back.
I can barely hear, but they're all right, yes. Okay, fabric pieces in the little diagonals, Art Deco look. Okay. And let's talk about shoes. I want to bring it out. Let's have the foot of Andy, Sarah, and Robin come out a little bit. Yeah. So this, in the 30s, the open toe was really introduced. And the strappy sandal. Okay, and there's a high-waisted, this is called a high-waisted heel, which means that the narrowest part of the heel is in the middle of the shoe. These are awesome. Yeah, okay, there you go. Let's bring out the men. Oh, Ryan. Okay, Ryan is wearing, well, the 1930s. The 1930s is the dawn of the men's business suit. And the details are iconic now and very handsome. It was all about the fitted double-breasted jacket with wide square shoulders, shoulder pads in there. Big wide cut lapels. This all created a very V shape to the chest. It's a lovely deco look. Show us, Ryan. Stop. Look at those wide lapels, yeah? Here's Dan. So Dan is wearing the full-blown three-piece double-breasted suit. It's awesome. Okay. The deco look, the big wide lapels. So the double-breasted suit was the height of men's fashion in the 30s. Here's Lee. Another double-breasted suit. So check out the generous cut, long draping trousers. They're not narrow like you would see in the 20s. Oh, and they would have these little upturned cuffs. That really like completed the look, the little cuff. And Lee has on some great cap toe shoes. Yeah. And tall. So Paul is wearing a fabulous example of a single-breasted suit with vest. Looks amazing on him. And he has on the fedora, the full ensemble. Oh, and the bow tie. I should mention the bow tie. Todd. Look at this great hat he has on. It's nice. So another great three-piece suit on Todd. So the pinstripe suit really was a standard element in men's fashion by this time. Apparently he found a suit in France too, I guess, you know? It's hard to find a suit that fits a man this tall from the time period. And great cap toe shoes. Oh boy, okay, here it is. So finally we have the famous Palm Beach suit on Travis here. The Palm Beach suit was designed during the 30s. The most sought-after version is the double-breasted jacket with the belted back or sports back. So check this out. Look at the back of this thing. That is awesome. So this was an American summer suit. Yeah. It was the Wall Street businessman's uniform for hot days. And the belted back really is very cute. Travis's suit is the envy of all Lindy Hoppers and Velvet dancers, let me tell you. This is great. Thanks, Travis. You're excused. Follow up.